In the United States, one of the major decisions that is a New Year's resolution is many times when people face the new year, they say, this year I'm going to exercise more and lose weight. That's a biggie. I'm going to exercise and I'm going to lose weight. So the 1st of January, they get in their car and they go to the gym. Now, when they go to the gym, when they get ready to pull in the parking lot, there's a policeman out there. And he's not letting anybody pull in the parking lot because the parking lot is full. It's full of cars. People have all said they're going to exercise this year. So everybody's at the gym. And so you've got to drive your car on down the street, and you have to drive 3 blocks down the street. And you park your car way far from the gym. And you get your gym bag, and now you get out of your car, and you're walking to the gym, and you're really frustrated. You're saying, here I am. I wanted to get exercise, and I have to walk 3 blocks to the gym. And when you get to the gym, everybody's in there. All the machines are taken. And you have to stand in line, and you're frustrated again because everybody's there. And finally you go up to the desk of the manager and say, sir, I made a New Year's resolution to exercise, and I couldn't even park in the parking lot. I had to park 3 blocks away, and of all the ridiculous things, I had to walk to the gym, and then I came here, and all the machines are taken. Now I'm having to wait. And the manager just smiles and says, relax. Take a pill. It's okay. And then knowingly he leans across the desk and says to you, come back to the gym in a couple of weeks. Because when you come back in a couple of weeks, when you drive up to the parking lot, you can park in the parking lot because nobody will be here. In fact, you can park your car right by the door. You can just walk in. And when you walk into the gym, you can go on any machine you want to. You don't have to stand in line. Do you know what the manager of the gym knows? He knows that everybody made a decision at the 1st of the year, but only a few people every day manage that decision. One of my 2 publishers, when I write books, one of my 2 publishers is a publisher out of New York City called Time Warner. And a few years ago, I was up in New York City having dinner with the head of Time Warner. And he looked at me and he said, okay, John, this was in America about 4 years ago. You heard about the scandals and corporate scandals with Enron and many of the companies where these business guys did things that were ethically wrong. And so the head of Time Warner said, John, I want you to write a book on business ethics. And I looked at him and I smiled and I said, Larry, I can't do that. And he said, why not? And I said, because there's no such thing as business ethics. And he said, what do you mean? Look at what these guys have done. Oh, I said, there's no such thing as business ethics. He said, well, I don't understand. I said, there's just ethics. You either have them or you don't. If you have them, guess what? They work in business. Oh, happy day. And if you don't have them, they don't work. And so I was on talk shows all over the New York media when this book came out, There's No Such Thing as Business Ethics, because that became the title of the book. In fact, it would be the day I told him there was no such thing as business ethics at the dinner table. He said, that'll be the title of the book. That'll be the title of the book. And so when I was on CNBC and all the major talk shows, and they asked me, they said, well, what would cause Ken Lay and all these CEOs, what would cause them to do these things? And I said, it's very simple. Listen to me carefully. Successful people make important decisions early in their life. Then they manage those decisions the rest of their life. And when these men did something wrong ethically, I know why they did it. They had never made the decision on the front end to be ethical, regardless of the cost. Now, if I've not made the decision to be an ethical person, and all of a sudden I can make millions of dollars, I'll cave. So will you. You see, the secret of success is determined in your daily agenda. Your daily agenda is nothing more than managing the decisions that you've already made. And when you manage them correctly, success will become yours. And when you manage them incorrectly, failure will become yours. Now, I know what you're thinking. John's up here defining success. And he's now spoken for an hour. And I think he's forgotten that there are 3 parts of success. And the melancholies are all worried. They're looking at their notes and saying, I don't think he's going to finish this lecture. Relax. Take a pill. My name's John. I'm your friend. We've discovered so far today that success, first of all, is knowing our purpose in life. Secondly, it's growing to our maximum potential. And we grow by every day learning and growing and doing it on purpose. But success is one more thing. It's not only me knowing my purpose in life and growing to my maximum potential. It is thirdly, sowing seeds that benefit others. Successful people care about others. And successful people do not live their life just for themselves. Successful people are committed to taking what they have learned and what they have known and passing it on to others and teaching them. Successful people realize that their life is to be like a river, not a reservoir. That what is important is not only what we learn, but what we pass on to others. Therefore, successful people are not only helping themselves, but they're helping others. They're not only adding value to themselves, but they're adding value to others. So let me talk to you about adding value to people. If you want to be successful, listen to me carefully. Every day, commit yourself to adding value to the people around you. Every day on purpose, say to yourself, I'm going to say things and I'm going to do things that will add value to people around me. Because if you have the ability to add value to people around you, you will always be successful. That's what leaders do. Leaders make things better for others. Leaders lift others. In fact, a good leader is defined as a person who makes things better for others, and a bad leader is defined as a person who makes things worse for others. So when anybody comes to me and says they want to be a leader, I always ask them, why? Why do you want to become a leader? A lot of people want to become leaders because they think that they will get special privileges. They say, well, I want to be a leader so I can have power, so I can have money, so I can have a parking place. Those are not real reasons to be a leader. You should want to be a leader because you want to help people. That's the motivation. That's the reason. In the States, we have an expression, and I'm going to give you the expression, and again, I'm going to ask you if this is an expression here in Thailand. Often, leaders are known to say this expression, it's lonely at the top. Now, is that an expression that you say here in Thailand? How many of you have heard, talk to me, how many of you ever heard the expression, it's lonely at the top? Raise your hand if you've heard it. Oh, okay, oh, good. Do you say that here? Oh, good, you're just like us. Mm-hmm. And usually, the picture is there's a leader on top of the mountain. And I'm the leader, and I've got my arms crossed, and I'm looking down in the valley at all of my people. And I'm saying, it's lonely at the top. Oh, it's so lonely up here at the top. Look at all those people down there. Oh, it's lonely, lonely, lonely. Now let me tell you something. A leader never said it's lonely at the top. Here's why. If you're at the top all alone, nobody's following you. Here's the thought. If you're at the top all alone, get off the top. Go down to where the people are. Connect with the people. Help them. Lift them up. Because leaders bring people to the top with them. That's how you define a leader. You define a leader as somebody is with them. If you're a leader and nobody's with you, you're not leading anything. One of the laws of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, and if you're not sure about these laws, just ask the people who raise their hand that have the book. They'll teach you something. Or you can go get the book. In the 21 laws of leadership, one of the laws of leadership is the law of influence. And the law of influence says, leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. It's influence. In fact, my favorite leadership proverb, he that thinketh he leadeth, and hath no one following him, is only taking a walk. And I know all kind of people that are in leadership positions, but they're taking a walk. They're by themselves. They're lonely at the top. Why? Because they're not adding value to people. So, if you want to be successful, you have to add value to people. We've already understood that success is not only knowing my purpose in life and growing to my maximum potential, but it is also sowing seeds that benefit others. So, if you want to be successful, you have to add value to people. So here's the question. How do I add value to people? Three things. And if you can do these three things well, you will truly add value to people. So look at your neighbor before I give you these three things and say to your neighbor, you're about to learn how to add value to me. Go ahead and tell them that. Okay? Now this is important. So tell them take very good notes on this, okay? Take very good notes. Okay. 3 ways to add value to people. Number 1, value people. If you want to add value to people, the first thing you need to do is value people. It's that simple. What I have discovered is that many leaders don't value the people that they lead. In fact, I have discovered that many leaders devalue people. And I know for a fact that if you and I do not value the people we lead, we will very quickly begin to devalue them. Listen carefully to me. My name's John. I'm your friend. There is a fine line between motivating people and manipulating people. A very fine line. Let me define the differences. As a leader, when I manipulate people, I move people for my advantage. That's manipulation. As a leader, when I manipulate you, if I happen to be your leader, when I manipulate you, what I do is I move you to my advantage. In other words, I get you to do things that help me only. Let me tell you something about manipulation. It's always wrong. It's not sometimes right. It's always wrong. A leader should never have people do things that benefits him or her if it hurts them. That is always wrong. There is never a good reason for that. So, but if I devalue you, if I don't value you as a person, if I don't value you as an individual, I will continually manipulate you. I will continually take advantage of you. I will use my power, I'll use my position, I'll use everything I've got within my leadership resources to help me and hurt you. It's always wrong. Because the purpose of a leader is to lift people, not to let them down. Now, that's manipulation. I do a lot of international traveling and teaching. This is my 4th time this year to be in other countries beside the United States. And I speak to many, many different cultures, many, many different countries. In developing countries around the world, I do a lot of work in Africa. In developing countries in the world, in fact, I have an organization called EQUIP. And EQUIP is a nonprofit organization that we are right now training 1 million leaders internationally. And we're training many of those leaders, not all of them, but many of those leaders in developing countries, because the reason that countries have problems is because they don't have good leaders. And so developing countries who are trying to get on their feet often struggle because they don't have good leadership. So we're training leaders to meet that need. And we're training them how to lead correctly, how to motivate people, not manipulate people. What I have discovered is that when countries are having difficulties, many times it's because the leaders are manipulating people. Or let me show you something else that they do often. I see this often, but I need somebody to help me. Denai, would you mind coming up here for a moment? Come on up here, friend. He's my friend. He'll do this for me. I didn't ask him to do this ahead of time. Just run up here real quick, okay? Encourage him a little bit. He's a little bit shy here. Give him a hand, okay? Okay. Come up here tonight. Here's what I have observed. By the way, while he is coming up here, he just put my Winning with People book. I guess the Winning with People book. Your company just published it, right? And it's in Thai. And I'm so thank you so much for doing that. You come on over here. Come on over here tonight. Okay. Now, what happens is many times the leaders are insecure. So what they try to do is they try to push everybody around them down. Are you with me? So this is very, very common. So here's what happens. If I'm the leader and I'm threatened by other leaders and around me, what I do is my tendency will be to push him down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and push you down. Now, I want you to notice something. As I am pushing him down, as I'm pushing him down, what's happening to me? I'm going down with him. Because if you push others down, you have to stoop. But let's say I'm a leader that wants to add value to him. So I start bringing him up. I start bringing him. Now, as I raise him up, what do I do to myself? I go up also. You did a good job. Thank you, my friend. Give him a hand, huh? Thank you very much. When you add value to people, you lift them up. And you also lift yourself up as a leader. When you try to devalue people, you push them down. And what I've discovered is if you really want to add value to people, the first thing you have to do is value people. Number two, if you want to add value to people, number two, you have to make yourself more valuable. You've got to get better. And the reason for that is you can only lead people as you grow. In fact, if you stop growing, you stop leading. Too many leaders are like travel agents. Travel agents send people where they've never been. So you go to your travel agent and you say, well, I want to go to Australia. And so they get the tickets and they get the brochures and they put together the package for you. And you come and get the ticket and they have a nice package for you and they wave and bon voyage, And say, would you do me a favor? Send me a postcard. I've never been there. Too many leaders try to send people where they've never been themselves. Listen carefully to me. We teach what we know, but we reproduce what we are. We teach what we know, but we reproduce what we are. You cannot lead somebody where you have not been. Leaders should be tour guides instead of travel agents. Tour guides. Now, you get on the bus with a tour guide and they say, I've lived here all of my life. Tomorrow I have a day off, and so I'm hoping with my little group that I've got to take them because this is their first time in Bangkok on a good tour. So we'll take them on a tour and we'll have somebody that'll say, hey, I've lived here all my life. I know these people. I know these customs. I know these traditions. And they'll teach me from what they know. If you are, as a leader, making yourself more valuable and you're learning, then you have something to pass on to your people. But if you're not learning, if you're not growing, here's the way this works. If you're a leader, you're leading them. But if you stop leading, they will pass you by. So to add value to people, you not only have to value people, but to add value to them, you've got to make yourself more valuable. One more thing. To add value to people, number 3, you have to know and relate to what they value. In other words, to lead people correctly, to lead people effectively, you have to know and relate to what they value.